575 horsepower. As for the Lambo, well, I'll tell you what, we've got a guest driver in it, so I'll let him explain. Yami, my...
Tell us a bit about your car, mate.
Hey Matt, so this is my actual Lamborghini Urus I own.
So I know you've got all in borrowed car. This is my personal car.
Just under 650 brake horsepower, 4-litre twin turbo.
Do you reckon it's going to be as fast as a Tesla Model X?
Listen, we're going to have to see, but I'm bored. I've sat here for an hour waiting for you to charge your car.
Yeah, he's making a good point. This car, you have to actually warm the battery to have full-on ludicrous mode, and that will take about an hour.
Electric car.
Anyway, we've got another guest driver in the Mercedes. It's rapper Professor Green. Hey, Prof Green.
Tell us a bit about your car.
Hello mate, I'm in a G63 AMG, the brand new model. I actually drive the old one. This one looks a lot different to it. I'm not really sure how any of it works or what I'm doing in it. It's a 4-litre V8 twin turbo with I think it's 585 brake horsepower. But yeah, like I say, you just said driving Mercedes around an airfield. I didn't expect all this, mate. Don't really know what's going on.
You don't know where he is.
How do you reckon you're going to do?
As long as I don't end up going off the end of the track into that field that I can see in the distance.
I'm squeezing that, mate.
I reckon if you are going to go off-road, you are definitely
In the best car for it.
made the fastest car win.
Thank you.
So who's giving us the signal to go?
I'm PG, I'm dead cool. Vodka and Red Bull. Superhero, dead cool. Learn a lesson, boy, in school. I'm active. Tennis, racket, 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 racket.
You're going to have no fuel left, mate. You keep doing that.
Matt, rev yours, mate.
Well, I don't want to spoil the piece
I'm not some kind of like hooligan.
with a bright reflective car.
I know. I'm getting sunburned.
Come on, Tesla. Come on.
Oh, be the Lambo! Wow, the Tesla is gone! Bye-bye, Yanni!
I'm active, I'm active, I'm active, I'm...
Oh my God, that Tesla! He got absolutely dropped!
Crazy, crazy.
Unbelievable! What an easy win! What the... Mate, I can't believe that.
I'm quite shocked as well. This just totally dropped your Lambo.
Sorry, I think you bought the wrong car.
No, definitely didn't buy the wrong car.
But that is ridiculously quick.
I got killed. Hold my hands up.
Hey, Prof Green, how was your race?
I don't think I had the worst reaction times.
The car just weren't keeping up.
It's not the most aerodynamic, is it?
It's like driving a hippo down the road.
Having never driven a hippo, I can't really comment.
But you beat the SVR.
Oh, didn't you?
I didn't even realise there was one in the race.
There was an SVR in the race, but it got thrashed, as did everything else by the Tesla Model X P100D, which did the standing quarter mile in 11.3 seconds. The Lamborghini Urus took 11.9 seconds. The Mercedes AMG G63 12.3 seconds. And the Range Rover Sport SVR 12.9 seconds.
Now we're going to have a rolling race from 30 miles an hour. They're locked in second gear. Oh, obviously got no gears. I'm going to count us in.
3, 2,
1, go! That G-Wagon's wicked!
Gonna be the sweet and geriatric, I'm active.
Tesla's gone again.
This is the daddy!
That Tesla.
That got even worse for you then, Yanni, because...
Not only we totally dropped by me, but Prof Green dropped too as well.
well, to begin with.
Yeah, Pro Green dropped me for about...
A split second and I come past him. I'm not even bothering looking at you anymore. I just see you going. I'm just like,
Just accept it. You know when you just got to accept it?
it is what it is.
So, Prof Green, he reckons you only had the drop on him.
For a split second, but it seemed like
right, mate, considering I've got, what, 300 kilos more weight in the car?
That's right, I think your car's like 2.5 tons, same as mine. But I've got like almost 1,000 newton meters of torque.
Mine's about 850, and I weigh about, what, 2.2 ton?
What happened to
The Range Rover, did you just destroy it?
What Range Rover? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's still in my rear view now, actually.
Now, just to keep you up to date, that car's got 700 newton meters and it weighs 2.3 tons, so it was always going to struggle. I think that's a win for me. It's a win for the Tesla. It's a win for electric power.
Fair play, that Tesla. Listen, you do hear about electric cars and stuff. That is ridiculously quick. This looks like it's fast. That doesn't look like it's fast. I'm actually in shock. I can't believe how fast that is.
That one was for you, Elon. Please retweet this and share it because it'll get shed loads of views. Yeah, whatever. Stupid, noisy internal combustion engine.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it. Also, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our latest videos. Also, in the description below the video, there are links to Yanni's YouTube channel
Unbelievable.
and to Professor Green's latest track, Photographs.
I'm PG, I'm dead cool.
Make sure you check them both out.
Boop boop.
This is the Tesla Model X, and it's a perfect car if you like a grand entrance because it's got these wonderful falcon doors. I mean, look at it, there's nothing else like it in the world. It's incredible. And the benefit of these amazing doors is that it's dead easy to climb into the back of the car. So you can get this Model X as a 5-seater, a 6-seater, or like this one, a 7-seater, though you do have to pay extra for the extra chairs. Let's talk about the room here in the back. I'll just shut this door. Just press the button and down it comes, and don't worry, it's not going to squash my head because there is plenty of headroom here. We've got loads of knee room as well, and you can stretch your feet out under the chair in front. Also, you've got 3 individual chairs. Now, they do move individually. So the outer ones you can control them yourself from the seats, but the middle one you have to control it from the screen in the front, and I'll show you more about that later. Okay, so this middle panel does mean headroom is a bit limited, but I'm sitting up straight and I've still just about got enough. And there's loads of leg room. It's a really wide-bodied car as well, so it is comfy with 3 people abreast in this middle row. Helps that you've got a flat floor, so there's loads and loads of foot space. Anyway, let's jump into the rear and show you what it's like back there. So, yeah, these doors, I love them, I love them. Now, to move the chair out the way, it's just a press of a button. Everything is all electric, slides gracefully out the way, and then you have quite a bit of space to climb into the back. I am gonna just move this chair forward, pull this one back, so you can see exactly what's going on back here. So, this chair is as far back as you can go, and I've still got just about enough knee room. If I wanted to, I could slide that forward a bit, and there'd still be lots of room in the middle row for the person in front of me. In terms of headroom, look at this, right? There is a ridge here, so you wouldn't want to be like that. If you just relax in your seat, it's all right. I'm actually perfectly comfortable back here. It's quite impressive, and there's lots of black area as well. So it's nice and light and airy. It's actually a genuinely practical 7-seater car. Now, let's check out the boot, see what it's like for carrying stuff. So with all 7 seats in place, the actual space isn't all that bad. And if you look here, there's no load lift to lift stuff across, though you do have this false floor, so you could create one if you wanted to, but it does create a bit more space down there. And you can keep your charging cables in there to put that back up. In terms of features, there's some tethering points here. Here, there's a 12-volt socket as well there. Now, if you need more space, you can fold down these back seats. Funnily though, you actually have to push them with your hand. In an Audi Q7, they're electric. This is the only non-electric part of this car, I'm sure. Once you do that, you've got a bit more space and a flat load area. What you can't do though is fold down that middle row. They're fixed though. You can slide them forward electrically and then try and fill the car the best you can. Now if you click it there, you can actually see just how much you can squeeze into this car's boot in our detailed practicality video. See how easy it is to fit a child seat in here and what it's like with 3 people in the middle row. And someone in the back as well. Now let's check out the front of the car. So this Model X is actually quite an expensive car. So it starts from £75,000. This 100D with options is over £100,000. But the fit and finish isn't quite that of a £100,000 car. It's nice, and the design is fairly minimalistic, But yeah, I think Mercedes S-Class does feel a bit posher on the inside. What does stand out though is this screen. I mean, look at it, it's absolutely massive. So you've got the internet on there if you want it. You've got full Google mapping. Actually, you can control most of the car's functions through it as well. The suspension, I can shut the other rear door using it. I can move all the seats about. I can change the driving style, so I can put on regenerative braking, just standard full low, and that means that when I'm driving around town, I can lift off the throttle and it'll slow the car down to charge the batteries, and it's almost like you're braking without actually having to use the brake. It's great. Obviously, being an electric car, it's automatic. There is just one gear, so it's dead easy to drive. And it's actually dead easy to see what's going on as well, because the digital driver's display is nice and clear. In terms of storage, it's actually all right. Huge door bins, fit a big bottle. There's more storage here, and there's some more storage under here, and there's various charging points for all your electric devices as well. What do you expect? It's an electric car. You've basically got this big battery pack with you.
That's all the practical stuff dealt with. Now let's see what this electric SUV is like to drive.
Now, once you get on the open road, this Model X actually handles a lot better than you'd imagine it to. So yes, it may be a tall car, but because the batteries are kept low down in the car, it keeps the centre of gravity as low as possible. So, well, it doesn't really roll at all in the corners. Now, part of the reason for that is also that the suspension is a little bit on the firm side. Now, as standard, all models, apart from the entry-level car, get air suspension. It's not the most floaty experience, though. So you do feel the bumps a little bit because obviously, like I said, the suspension is a little bit on the firm side to stop it rolling around the corners. But even though it does corner pretty well, I wouldn't say it's exactly much fun to drive, apart from the instant acceleration from that electric motor. So, I mean, yeah, you can be going along at 30 miles an hour and then you're doing 70, just like that. Just like that. I mean, it's so addictive. You just end putting your foot down just for the sheer heck of it. It's so addictive and it's so fast. So this 100D, it can get from 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. I mean, that is insane. The only problem is that soon eats into your battery range. So Tesla says this car, if you're sensible, will do between 250 and 300 miles on a charge. But you're probably going to get around 200. And if you're a little bit enthusiastic with the accelerator, you're going to get quite a bit less. Now you can charge it at a Tesla supercharger, and 30 minutes will give you 170 miles extra range. So yeah, if you can find one of those, that's great. Otherwise, you do it at home. And the cost, I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's much cheaper to run actually in terms of electricity than a normal petrol or diesel car. One thing to note though is that yeah, it is quite expensive itself. And when you're going at speed of the motorway, because there's no engine sound, you do notice wind and tar roar a little bit more than you might expect.
Now then, it's time to look at what's good and not so good about the Tesla Model X. And there's so much to talk about that rather than doing 5 good things, I'm actually going to do 10.
The car has a front trunk with enough space for a human, and you can use the bonnet then as a sunshade. The car knows when you've arrived at a Tesla supercharger. The charge port automatically opens. You can get a specialist air filter for the car, which is so good, it even has a bioweapon defense mode. The only problem is if someone farts in the car and you've got to recirculate, the smell will never leave. You can get the Model X with full self-driving capability, and that makes it more autonomous than any other production car. In fact, Tesla says it's actually safer at driving than a human. Crazy. The Isofix anchor points for a child seat are very easy to get to. They're just under this little flap here. Tesla can send software patches to your car over the internet to apparently improve your driver experience. This car has a drag coefficient of just 0.24 CD, whatever that means. Apparently it's the most aerodynamic SUV you can buy, and that helps improve the efficiency and reduce wind noise. When you put your foot on the brake, the electric driver's door automatically closes. The Falcon doors can open with just 11 inches of space. Look at that. And once they're up, you can hop in and even drive along with them open. See ya!
Det var den bedste julesang nogensinde.
Ja, den er jeg også helt vild med.
Pris. Pris, 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 pris.
Pris, 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 pris.
Pris, 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 pris.
Ja, CVB Mobil har små julepriser.
Ja.
Nu kan du nemlig få 10 timers tale og 40 GB data, plus 5 ekstra gigabyte, du kan bruge i EU, for kun 119 kroner om måneden. Bestil nemt på cbb.dk.
The windscreen is the largest on any production car. It's bigger than a man.
However, not everything about the Tesla Model X is great. Here's 10 annoying things about it.
The design of the rear doors means there's no cup holders in them because things will just fall out. The towing capacity is as little as 1.6 tonnes. In contrast, a Land Rover Discovery can pull 3.5 tonnes. Some of the fit of the trim and the panel gaps is just atrocious for a car of this price. I quite like the way this sunblind operates, but quite frankly, I'd like one that actually extended to cover the whole of this area of the windscreen. This car only actually gets 5 seats as standard. If you want it with 6 seats, that's an extra £3 grand, and if you want it as this 7-seater, that is £4,000 more. Tesla built this car as a sport utility vehicle, but really, it looks more like a minivan. In fact, it's kind of like a Model S that's been stung by a bee and suffered anaphylactic shock and swollen up. If you really want to make the most out of your Spotify and your internet radio, you're going to have to pay £2.5 grand for the upgraded sound system because the standard speakers really aren't very good. The rear windows don't go much more than halfway down. Rubbish. The headrests in the middle row don't fold down, so they always obscure your view. It's really hard to shut the bonnet at the first attempt, or at the second attempt, or the third attempt. It usually goes at the fourth. Now, if you click up there, you can go to carway.co.uk for more reviews and to compare offers on new cars. So then, what's my verdict on the Tesla Model X? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Model X. It's a really unique car. It's just a little bit expensive. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and click up there to subscribe to our channel. Up there to watch my 360-degree passive ride video on this car, down there to watch my detailed practicality video, and down there for my detailed infotainment video review. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in this video? It was the old-fashioned Duracell battery in this little cubby area.
CBB Mobil har små julepriser. Bestil nemt på cbb.dk.
This is the Tesla Model S, and just like my mobile phone, it's powered by a lithium-ion battery. It's just that the batteries in that car can hold about 7,000 times the charge that my mobile phone can, and as a result, it's really, really powerful. In fact, this thing has the performance of a supercar, and I'll illustrate that later with some performance tests in the video. But obviously, this is actually designed as a practical family car. So, if you climb inside the back, you will see, well, for me, an average size adult, I've got plenty of legroom. I mean, look at that. And headroom, that's just about okay. The sloping roofline does mean that people over 6 foot will find it a little bit cramped for headspace. Another thing to note with this car is that the floor is quite high because there's all the batteries underneath, and as a result, this angle between your knees and your hips is a little bit less comfortable than in some other cars where you sit a bit higher. On the plus side though, this flat bench seat and the flat floor means that for carrying 3, the person in the middle can get quite comfortable. It's just that the people on the outer 2 seats then end up having their heads just like wedged up against this sloping roofline here. Now if you click up there to watch my detailed practicality video, you'll see exactly what it's like with 3 people in the back, and I'll also show you how much stuff you can fit in this car's boot, but I'll give you a summary now. So the luggage capacity on this Tesla is actually pretty impressive. Just wait for the electric tailgate to do its thing. And voila. As you can see, plenty of space. There is a bit of a load lift to lift stuff over, but it's not too much of a problem. If you want to carry even more stuff, you know, this is a practical hatchback, people, look! You can fold down the seats, though there is a bit of a ridge there, which does make it a bit harder when pushing heavy items to the front of the car. Once again, like I say, it's no big deal. Now you can actually get this car with a really cool feature. So this one has underfloor storage, but you can actually get little seats which flip out of there. Let me just move that out of the way. And then there are occasional seats for children who can sit here, and they're like strapped in and everything. The only problem is they do have to be small children. As I'll illustrate now that, look, that's yeah, it's shut on my head there, you see. So they do have to be pretty tiny kids. Anyway, that's still impressive though, because actually, believe it or not, under there is the electric motor which powers the rear wheels. So it has 510 horsepower, which is getting on for what you get from a 5.2 litre V10 in an Audi R8. And it's small, it's about the same size as that bucket. And this is the D model, so it's got another motor at the front of the car. And if you walk around to the front, you'll notice that under here you have some more storage. Actually, the frunk on rear drive versions of the Tesla Model S is slightly larger because this one, being the four-wheel drive, has another motor just under here, though it's actually only about that big, and yet it still has 261 horsepower, which is about the same as you get from a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine in a VW Golf Club Sport. Now, when you combine both motors together and the battery capacity, you end up with a 611 horsepower car. Now, I know the numbers don't actually add up because the power is actually dictated by the battery rather than the total combination of the two motors together. But still, 611 horsepower, that is insane. What's also insane is the price. So, yeah, this car, it's £130,000, though the entry-level Model S starts from around £60,000, and it's a lot better value. Now, that brings us on to the interior of this car and the quality. So, for a £60,000 car, I think it's easily good enough. But for this P100D at £130,000, yeah, I mean, it's nice, but the fit and finish doesn't feel £130,000. I think that something like a BMW 7 Series does feel nicer, posher, and better made inside. I mean, this one, for instance, has, well, the Tesla uses switchgear from Mercedes. This gear selector, you'll find that in Mercedes A-Class. What is good, though, is the design. I mean, it's very minimalistic. There's hardly any buttons, and that's because you control most of the car's functions through this amazing portrait-style screen. I mean, there's nothing else like this in the automotive world. It's incredible. I could say it's like an iPad, but it's better than an iPad. It's absolutely blooming massive. So you've got full internet connectivity. So I've got Google Maps with all the traffic data and stuff like that. I've got Spotify. I've got the internet. Look, I mean, I can go online if I want to. There we go. We're on CarWow. There I can search for some new cars. Brilliant. I mean, it's amazing. Also, I can control all the car's functions through this as well, such as the suspension and things like the sunroof. So here we go. I can slide this dial here and open the sunroof to whatever percentage I want. There we go. I've gone for 88%. I mean, that is incredible. Now, there's so much to talk about this infotainment system here that I can't cover it in this review. So if you click up there, you can watch my detailed infotainment video on this particular system, and believe me, it's quite a long video, but it's worth it.
So far then, the Tesla Model S is both practical and packed full of gadgets, but it isn't until you hit the road that it really blows you away.
Now, anyone who thinks that electric cars are slow has never been in a Tesla Model S. This one has over 600 horsepower, and I can put it in a mode called Ludicrous, and if I press and hold the button, it gives me this car's maximum performance. And it's going to ask me a little question in a second. Wait for it to pop up on the screen. Are you sure you want to push the limits? This will cause accelerated wear of the motor, gearbox and battery. No, I want my mummy, or yes, bring it on. I'm going to put the car in drive. I've got my left foot on the brake. I'm going to mash the throttle.
Unleash your creative power.
Asus ZenBook Pro, powered by Intel Core i9 processor.
It's given me launch mode. I'm now going to do the same again and release the brake. Go. Whoa! My God, that's fast! Wow, that is really, really fast. So, yeah, 0 to 60, Tesla claims around 2.5 seconds, and this is the high performance version, but even less models of the Tesla Model S feel very good to accelerate. That's because you have instant torque from that electric motor. Now, launching a car is always good for bits of fun, but what's more useful every day is this thing's overtaking ability. So let's say I'm cruising along at 50 miles an hour, and I'm stuck behind someone dawdling in a Porsche Panamera Turbo. I don't want to get past them. So yes,